someone who can shed more light upon how careful we need to be is our guest at the time. We have Professor Kevin Curran. May the peace and blessings of Allah be upon you, respected Professor. How are you doing this morning?
Yeah, very good. Thank you.
A real pleasure having you on the show. For the benefit of our listeners, respected Professor Curran is a professor of cybersecurity at Ulster University. He is one of the most interviewed technology experts in the UK with over 2,000 interviews in recent years. Amazing stuff, Professor. The scale of Hajj fraud is alarming, with UK Pilgrims losing £150,000 last year. What are the primary tactics employed by fraudsters targeting these individuals?
Yes, the number one method that we use is to set up fake travel agencies and websites. And, of course, social media scams. I mean, so in this case, really, there is an official website for anyone traveling to Hajj. And again, it's really hajj.nusuk.sa. The end of the domain stands for Saudi Arabia. So there have been cases where people have set up sites like nusuk.com, which, of course, you would think is legitimate, but actually it's not. It's not. In this case, the official website for traveling to Hajj is again hajj.nusuk.sa. So that's number one, really, is to make sure that you're visiting the correct website. And generally, if you're typing in visit Hajj or Hajj trip Saudi Arabia, whatever else, you are directed by Google and the main search engines, which I checked last night. That you are generally one of the first results which comes up, or else one of the other primary websites again is Visit Saudi Arabia, which again will redirect you to the correct website, of course. But so that's the main thing. Is obviously if you go to one of the main search engines, of course, like Google, you will be directed to the correct one. But problem, like a lot of scams, is people get messages, or else on Facebook. They're targeting on Facebook, of course, that the scammers know anyone who's likely to travel Hajj, and then they're directed to on Facebook. And to be honest, never buy anything on Facebook. Facebook Marketplace is eBay is also eBay is more controlled, but Facebook Marketplace is really full of scams. It really is. Again, it's okay for buying things where you can go and visit the person. Literally, because it's unlikely you're going to get scammed if you're calling to someone again. But definitely always be wary of anything on Facebook when it comes to purchasing again, and especially holidays like this, or package holidays, whatever else. To the official websites, really, and of course, just that's the main thing, really.
No, absolutely. So, despite the introduction of the website you were mentioning right now, the NUSUK Hajj portal, by the Saudi Arabia Ministry of Hajj and Umrah to centralise and secure the booking process, fraudsters continue to exploit pilgrims. What vulnerabilities do these fraudsters exploit, and how can pilgrims better protect themselves?
Yeah, generally it's lack of awareness, really. People are, targeted and make it seem urgent as well. So, number one thing is to use your official channels as well, and travel agents on there as well. One thing which surprised me was some of the travel agencies on there, the official ones actually, do not have the Air Travel Organizers license, what we call ATOL.
Okay.
And that protects you. In other words, the British and also the Association of British Travel Agencies as well, that these are, in other words, generally when you book a holiday as such, so if the airline goes out of business, when you book something with ATOL protection, that means that you are protected, that you can get a refund, or else that it's up to them to cover the cost of you traveling back with a different airline. If the hotel goes out of business, again, you're covered. So again, anyone who's booking on these trips, really, you should really make sure that that their insurance covers. If they can, insurance covers in case the airline goes bust or the hotel goes bust. Now, it's not that common, but again, that's what insurance is for. It's for the edge cases, again. In other words, that something that would really disturb you in the future again. So it's worth checking to see what your insurance covers you, your travel insurance. for anyone never to ever travel without travel insurance. And
Yeah.
travel insurance is actually quite cheap. You can get an annual travel insurance for about £40, which covers you anywhere in the world.
Wow.
Travel insurance is not as dear. And in other words, whenever you're booking on Ryanair or EasyJet and all these, of course, they try to upsell you everything.
Yeah.
You should never be in a position where you're taking the travel insurance there. It'll never, because that only covers you for one trip. It can be £10, even though it's not that much.
Yeah.
Literally, my travel insurance, I've been renewing it with the same organization now for 4 years, and it's £28 because I've been with them. And that covers me anywhere in the world for all the edge cases, really, if anything goes wrong. Travel insurance is a must, definitely. But also make sure in this case, because I was surprised that a lot of the operators on here are not at all regulated.
Wow. With the rise of online platforms and social media, how has the landscape of Hajj-related fraud evolved in recent years? And what digital security measures should pilgrims be aware of when booking their trips?
Yeah, scams have got better in the last year actually because of generative AI again.
Yes.
So
okay.
Gen AI is really helping the scammers again, because most of the scammers really come from Eastern Europe.
Okay.
They do not come from the UK, and I mean, it's not as if we don't have scammers here, but no, the vast majority do not come. They come from outside the UK.
Okay.
So therefore, the Gen AI is really helping them to format their messages a lot better. That are quite realistic. And again, I've seen a lot of Booking.com actually. So. There's some major websites again, like Booking.com was one of the main ones really. So many people have booked their holidays through Booking.com, through TripAdvisor, whatever else. And emails appearing to come from Booking.com, and there's a certain percentage of people who have already paid for their summer holidays, and they pay for them months in advance. The email comes in, it looks like it's real from Booking.com saying, there was a problem with your credit card on the hotel accommodation, and lo and behold, you're redirected to pay for it. And of course, everyone tries to fix any issues with payment because they're worried about their beautiful holiday. They don't want to let their kids down, and of course, and lo and behold, you've gone to a fraudulent website, you paid, and then of course you've been defrauded, or obviously you've frauded again. So. Just to be careful of that there are emails coming in that appear to be from reputable websites again, but just again, always come back out of never clicking the link. Go, if you think that there was an issue with Booking.com, type in Booking.com into your whatever else, or go back to the emails you already have from whatever else. But again, don't try to rush to fix a payment really, because then, especially if you're asked to pay outside of credit cards, because credit cards again will protect you, and it's up to the bank to get the money back. But if you pay with a debit card, for instance, or you pay with other payment issues, then you're out. You are frauded.
Okay, amazing stuff. A lot of things that you're obviously shedding light upon, I didn't even know. Thank you so much for your time, Professor. May the peace and blessings of Allah be upon you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.